would like to say that Professor Dr. Paramesh is associated with our center for a couple of years, and he has been very instrumental and very systematic in organizing this monthly seminar pertaining to health and environment. And he covers each and every aspect of environment which affects human life, right from head to toe, almost I can say, how it affects right from the brain function, liver function, chest, and whatnot. So he quotes a lot of examples, a lot of valid facts and figures collected from WHO and other places, and with his own experience as a pediatrician for several years. So we are very happy with this very brief introduction. I would like to also extend a hearty welcome to our founder, chairman of this department, Professor J. Srinivasan sir, who is with us. And it is with very great pleasure that I would extend a hearty welcome to a special guest with us. You know, today we have all of us are going to witness a unique event. We must have seen many speakers, but we have not seen a boy of not even 10 years is going to talk to us about his vast knowledge about animal and species and all. It's really amazing. So for this, on all our behalf, I have to thank Dr. Paramesh sir for identifying the kid, and let us all hear his genius talk. So the kid is none other than Master Divecha. Just say hello. So we'll all welcome him with a big hand. Well, okay. So he's studying in 85 School of Vasi Vidya Niketan, which is located in Kanakpura Road. So I will be failing in my duty if I don't welcome their proud parents. May I request them to just introduce us? And they are accompanied probably by the kid's grandmother, I think, if I am right. Sorry if I am mistaken. And another relatives. So it is really a joyous moment for us. Probably all of us will be very keen to hear this young speaker's way of what do you call talk, as well as how he has assessed from his angle the animal kingdom and all those things. And I don't want to elaborate on that. So with these few words, may I humbly request Professor J. Srinivasan sir to. Okay. Okay. So, okay then. So may I request Paramesh sir to give his talk, and then followed by our Master Advik's address and talk. Thank you all.
The founder chairman of this institution, Professor J. Srinivasan, and other faculty members, and all the PhD students and assistants and research assistants. It's a great honor for me to stand in front of you to talk this monthly program. This is monthly program started about 4 years, 5 months ago. Every month we have been having this. This is co-sponsored by the H. Paramesh Education Trust and also Indian Academy of Pediatric Environmental Child Health Chapter. So all of them are on the internet. And I like to recognize the presence of the principal of the school who molding the children, future generation. Congratulations. And also this 85 school started none other than my dear friend, Manandi Suresh. So he started the school. He is a district governor of Rotary and also FKSTA president A century club president, we're all past presidents. We meet once a month together and chat. And he's committed to education, upbringing the people. This is something we're very proud of. Thank you very much, sir. And parents and grandmother, thank you very much for giving an opportunity to interact with you. The topic is importance of biodiversity, which is web of life. We all know about it. What do we do? What do we know about the animal species? And let us learn from the young generation. That's what this program has started. I spend about 12 to 15 minutes. The rest of the time we give to the youngster so that we can learn from him. Having said that, let's learn from here. So I think International Day of Biodiversity was there. On that day, it was 2000. The United Nations General Assembly decision of 2000 was to prevent biodiversity and take action on the activities that threaten all the species which exist on this earth. The variety of species of life, we all know about it. The biological diversity make our earth ecosystems spicy and interconnected. Nearly 1.75 million species are identified on our planet. Many more species are yet to be discovered. The biodiversity continued to decline for the past 2 decades. 58% of the vertebrates are eliminated. 51% of freshwater species eliminated. The extinction acceleration will continue between 1,000 to 10,000 species next decade. This is from the greediness of the human species, what God has created. And we aim to maintain the ecosystem biodiversity by 2050 by Convention on Biological Diversity of the United Nations Environmental Program. This is nature creation of biodiversity. If you look at that, the most important species God has created beetles. I don't know what affection they have for the beetles. 22% are the beetles, 18% are plants and algae, other insects 13%, invertebrates 12%, flies 9%, wasps, bees and ants 8%, and butterflies and moths 7%, fungi 4%, other organs 6%, vertebrate is only 1%. These are all the various species you can see, the beetles. Now, among the 1% of the species God has created vertebrate, 60% are the mammals of livestock, cows, people, buffaloes, and all those things. 30% are the human, 4% is only wild animals. Nearly 8 billion people represent what is all over the world, 0.01% living thing as of the data of 2022. We destroyed 83% of the wild mammals, 50% of the fauna and flora. So we polluted all the 5 elements, air, water, soil, and earth, and fire. All the Pancha Bhutas, what you call it. Now, biodiversity hotspot, if you look at the map of 2022, so nearly 36 official biodiversity hotspots are there globally, which occupies nearly about 2.5% of our land, home of 43% of the known endemic mammals, reptiles, birds, and 50% endemic plant. 2 billion humans are affected by survival and well-being. In India, we have Western Ghats, Himalayan areas, Indo-Burman border, and the Sundarbans National Park. All these things, what you can see, I don't think it was the Western Ghats over here in India. Now, the Western Ghats biodiversity is the hotspot. It stretches nearly 1,600 kilometers from Gujarat area, not Mumbai, to southern tip of India. It covers near 60,000 square kilometers with complex river system that drains over 40% of the Indian land. And highest peak is in Anamudi, Kerala, from your state. And it is about 2,695 meters. Many animals and plant species are indigenous in this world. UNESCO heritage site. This is what it is. And joke falls are coming from Shimoga. Sir, you are from Shimoga. Who is from Shimoga? Another person? Yes, he's from Shimoga. He knows about joke falls. He is very near joke falls. Now, the Western Ghats, if you look at the facts and figures of the animals, wildlife, it holds many species of plants and animals, nearly 5,000 flowering plants, 139 mammals, 79 amphibian species. Host countries' largest Asian elephants we have. In addition, Bengal tigers, sloth bears, lion-tailed macaques, Nilgiri tail, and cobra. Black cobra is very well known in that area. And nearly 325 globally threatened species belong to here. Now, Western Ghats, what is the significance of it? Influence the Indian monsoon weather in pattern. I think what we get rains from that one only in Western Ghats. Act as a barrier for rain-laden monsoon winds. It is the home of the evergreen forest. Nearly 325 globally threatened species are existent here. The conversion of land continue to affect the Ghats, causing climate change, floods, landslide, flooding. Look at this. Malnad area, the rain causing all those problems, Western Ghats. And what are the mounting sectors of Western Ghats? It's converting into agricultural land. For tea estate, coffee estate, rubber plantation, palm oil plantation, cleared livestock grazing, population of 50 million create human wildlife conflict. This is the place. I think Young Secret restaurant is there. Anybody has gone to Ooty in that restaurant? That is about 2,400 meters. So 150 meters less than Anamudi. Right? So there I'm standing there. I have to adjust myself for 5 minutes to adjust in that time. The other end, you see that is the picture we have taken. All the tea estate in Ooty, you can see that. And also the committees of Western Ghats recommendation that the state government appointed how to take care of the Western Ghats. I think one of the name was Madhav Gadge, one of the finest scientists we ever had it here, late Madhav scientist. Gadge came in 2011. He suggested, going through all the things, all Western Ghats be declared as ecological sensitive area, ESA. Only limited development allowed in a graded zones. That's what he said. But the government didn't believe it, apart some other person. Then came Kasturi Rangan committee in 2002 years later. He also went through all the details. It sought that to balance the development and environment. Any environment, any development and compromising the environment is not development. And only 37% of total area should be brought under the ecological sensitive area. The complete ban on the mining, quarrying, and sand. I think Justice Rangan, he was the Secretary of Science and Technology from Delhi, had come here. He said, Paramesh, he likes fish very much. When I went to Kashmir, a fresh fish he catches it with all day and prepare. I came to know Century Club where the best fish, Portuguese fish. Would you kind enough to organize a get meeting? So we organized it. We are all there in the President Jidla, the Century Club. He enjoyed it, and the secretary said, Dr. Paramesh, when I come to Bangalore, I'll catch you. You have to take me to Century Club. We feel proud of that. Having said that, Western Ghats eco-sensitive area, 6th August 2nd we did. Earlier we had draft issues in 2014, 15, 17, 18, 22, 24 is there. Now, the Kerala has got nearly 56,825 square meter ESA is compromised. Kerala, 9,993 square kilometer. Karnataka is higher, 20,668 square meter. Maharashtra, 17,340. Tamil Nadu, 6,914. Goa, 1,461 square kilometer. Gujarat, 449 square kilometer. And Karnataka environmental area spread over 1,572 villages in 10 districts. And the proposal was to stop the ban mining, quarrying, sand mining, high polluting area, industry, phase out existing mines, agriculture, planting, should stop all of it. And various drafts are given. What has our government has done? Still pending. experts give the opinion. They don't want mechanics. They want industry coming there, mining and all this thing. So state governments are opposed to many such barriers. We have to fight for a cause. And International Biodiversity say 2023, now is the time to move from agreement to action. And that's what the United Secretary General Antonio mentioned about it. Ensure sustainable production and action, recognize the rights of the indigenous people and local communities as strongest guardian of the world biodiversity, work to secure a sustainable future for all. That's what he mentioned about it. And now, have you seen that vultures dying? First is identified by the Parsi family because they don't bury, they don't burn, and the piece, well, they keep it their dead body. They believe God has given this one, let other species live with us. That is their belief. But now there were about how much? 99% of the birds have gone dead. That also nearly only about 4 crores were there. 3 decades ago, now is only 19,000. I think all the dead body are smelling, causing a lot of problem. They're changing that marine problem nowadays, Parsis. And in the observed Parsi community, first they observed it. They found out why it is their birds are not dying. Then they found out the animals, why this animal eating and all this thing. Found out that some chemical. Later on they traced it. That medicine is none other than a painkiller, inflammation, we get it. Diclofenac. We're all getting it. That is the one. That's what they did was they fed that one to live birds. Within 48 hours they died from the kidney failure. This is how we lost so much of things. In villages, I am coming from a village. In villages, Patel is the chief. And Shambhog is the record keeping, the land record. And Talwar was there, information is the decision making. And Kulwadi is the one, any dead body, take that one. In Gomalas were there in every villages. Gomalas, they do that. They clean up all the things. Nature, self-cleaning nature is there. This is what we are development, what we are calling. In addition to the recently it has come there, February 13, 2026, Ukraine was 4 years. Other people move around, pets are move around, but these stray dogs, what happened to them? They changed their adjustability. So they have 763 dogs, the strong natural selection adapted themselves. Different physical traits help to survive. These are from 3 universities, from Ukraine, Poland, and Austria. They got smaller bodies, pointed ears, longer snouts, comparable to large-scale natural anthropogenic disease. Now, the way forward lies in pursuit of genuine democratic decentralization, empowering local communities in villages and cities. We have to convince the society, stakeholders, local leaders, and policymakers. How do you do policymaker? We doctors, we know, always hear the story, parents sick, house sick, and all the things. We have right brain working more empathy. But the scientists are all here. You are taking what is the economic burden and all the things, analytical data you create, you get left brain working another. We have to work together. We have to work to convince the politicians. Convince the politician with the data is an art of communication skills. Most of our Supreme Court judgment has come in a social meeting in the Century Club, Bangalore Club, Boston. Justice So this is how most of our Supreme Court judgment comes from our work, from the socially what we need, convincing the people. This is art we have to learn. And now, what we know, everybody is thinking about, we have to make it a smart city, smart city, smart city. What I insist on, be a smart city with the environmental control and biodiversity. City, sustainable cities with biodiversity, make it a smart city. That's what we want to progress further and convince the politician, all the people, social people of Nandiman, the people like you have to bring out this decision. Anyway, a healthy breath always bring a healthy life. Let each one teach one, plant one tree and maintain it. It gives free oxygen for both people. So each one of us, we need about 30,000 rupees of oxygen per day. 4 people is 120. 1,20,000. One tree in your house, you are maintaining. It gives free oxygen for 4 people. So I think I still have positive thinking on it. We will overcome the air pollution global warming by 2030 with the commitment of all the stakeholders. With this one, I would hand over my expert. He's going to talk about animals and all this thing. So over to you, Anvik. So you can ask me question later. Please ask question to him. Let us not more from him. Good evening, sir. Yes. Please add the name.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Anvik from Grade 4 Edified School. Recently, I watched this video of a Japanese macaque called Punch. He was a lonely macaque which always used to get pushed away and ignored even by its own parents and its students whenever it tried to communicate and play with them. This story made me feel very heartbroken and sad. But it kept me wondering why. Around the same time, I read about a story of a penguin which appeared to walk away from its group. Online, people called it the nihilist penguin. They gave it dramatic moments for walking away from its colony. For example, few people thought that it had a heartbreak, while few people thought that it was frustrated with life. But scientists asked different questions. They asked, was it sick? Was it disoriented? Or did it have environmental stress? But both stories made me realize something very important. It is that in the wild, no animal survives alone. Punch depends on for its safety and protection. Penguins depend on each other to stay warm during cold weathers. But it doesn't stop there. Macaques depend on trees for food and shelter. Penguins depend on fish. Fish depend on plankton. And trees depend on water, soil, and insects. This made me very curious. This made me wonder how the interdependency and the connectivity works. It made me wonder why Punch was ignored and pushed away, and why did the penguin leave its colony. That led me to make a vow to become the voice of the wild, and that also led me to write a national award-winning book at the age of 6, titled The Lesson. It also led me to speak about animals for 14 hours continuously without repetition about animals, which helped me share my understandings and my curiosity with many more people. That's when I started to realize that behind the interdependency, behind the connectivity, there was a web. And the scientists call it the web of life. So, if you can see here, I have a model of a web of life. This is a Western Ghats web of life. If you can see here, there are many connections. For example, there is a nutrient cycling web, the food web, pollination web. But the thing is, there are more webs. There is also the trees and the plants. They are the primary producers. To show you how interdependency and connectivity works in the web of life, let's take down the southern birdwing. It is a butterfly species of the Western Ghats. See the tension? First, pollination becomes slower, and since pollination leads to fertilization, and fertilization leads to fruit, fruits leads to seeds, and now that pollination process has become slower, fertilization reduces, and with less fertilization, there is less fruits, and with less fruits, there is less food for animals. It also affects the food web as the Malabar giant squirrel loses one of its food source. And if the Malabar giant squirrel changes, then mesopredators and predators like the dhole and the tiger may feel indirect effects. So this is why maintaining connection in the web of life is very important. Or else everything will start collapsing and the web weakens. But then, what is biodiversity? Biodiversity is the variety of living things on Earth. It may be the different species of animals, the different genes. It even may be the different ecosystems. Examples include Asian elephant, African elephant, or different species of animal. Examples for different genes is that every animal or every plant has one particular gene and the same type has the same genes. But if it is a different type, it may be the different type of animal or even a different type of plant, it will have different genetic differences in it. And for different ecosystems, there is swamps, forests, grasslands, etc. So, how did this biodiversity evolve to? We talked about biodiversity, but how did it evolve? Biodiversity started evolving millions and millions of years ago through a process called natural selection proposed by Charles Darwin. So, in the wild, many creatures have features that help them survive in nature. And that same feature is passed on to the next generation and the next generation through reproduction. So, in nature, each creature gets the feature by its older generations naturally and gets adapted and better suited to the ecosystem. For example, if you can see here, there is a population of mice. There are tan mice and there are also black mice. And there is the predator, the eagle. So, since the rocks are black, the tan mice are very hard to spot. The tan mice are very easy to spot, but the black mice are very hard to spot. So, the eagle manages to spot the tan mice and it eats them. and this helps the black mice escape. Soon, tan mice population become less, and when they are gone, black mice start reproduction, and just like that, more and more black mice population will increase, and there will be less tan mice. This will help the survival of mice from the eagle, and it will make it easier. So, but biodiversity is not the same in every place. In few places, there are only around 50 to 100 species. There are only 50 to 100 species. But few places, there are around thousands and thousands of species. Examples include the Amazon, the Africa, Kenya, even the oceans. Today, we are going to be zooming in to one of the most extraordinary biodiversity on Earth, the Western Ghats. The Western Ghats was called the biodiversity hotspot by UNESCO. But wait, what is a biodiversity hotspot? A biodiversity hotspot is a place with very large number of endemic species, and it is a place with threats of habitat loss. The Western Ghats is a biodiversity hotspot because it has around 1,720 flowering plants which are endemic. It has around 65% of endemic species of amphibians. It has around 53% of endemic species of fish. This makes the Western Ghats a biodiversity hotspot. It is a long mountain range connecting states like Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, etc. So, today we are going to be talking about the biodiversity in the Western Ghats, mostly about the fauna which are found in the Western Ghats. Because biodiversity numbers are not just numbers. It is about real, living, breathing animals. So get ready, as we are going to be talking about the animals which live in the Western Ghats and call the Western Ghats their home. Our first animal is the Asian elephant. This photo was taken by my mom in Nagarmali Forest. It looks calm, peaceful, such a beautiful moment of wildlife, right? But that this one particular moment tells something which is way bigger than two elephants and a calf of an elephant crossing the road. You see, elephants are the engineers of forests because in hot weathers and in weathers which is hard for them to survive, they go over hundreds and hundreds of kilometers searching for food. But when they go, they reshape landscapes and forests. They cut down small trees blocking their way. This helps animals by creating shortcuts to travel one place to another. But it also helps flora species as direct sunlight hits the forest floor. This helps plants grow. The Asian elephant also plays a main role in seed dispersing as it carries large seeds over hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. It is classified endangered, and there are only around 50,000 elephants left. The Asian elephants also create something called elephant corridors. Elephant corridors are ways through dense forests. It's basically reshaping the forest and the landscapes. But how are we hurting the Asian elephant? It's a huge creature. We cannot hurt it. Well, no. We are hurting by creating fragmentation. Fragmentation meaning making one forest into two parts. If you can see here, the road is dividing the forest. One part of the forest is this side, and the other part of the forest is the other side. This makes elephant groups isolated, as in the morning when they have to cross, it's a very huge problem as cars will be moving around. And for them, especially for the cars, it's hard to go when there is danger. This also might force elephants to come and attack on humans. We are also endangering elephants by killing them for tusks. Well, because due to that, they have become endangered. But we should not kill them because engineers in the human system are very important because they design. But engineers in the forests are also very important because they reshape the forest. So for humans, if we are not supposed to kill the engineers, we are also not supposed to kill the engineers of the forest. So we are going to move on to our next animal, which is the lion-tailed macaque, one of my most favorite animals. It got its name because it has hair around its face, which looks like a lion's mane. Me and my father once went on a trip to Udupi. There, we were crossing Agumbe Ghat. It is a connection to the Western Ghats. We had spotted a lion-tailed macaque there. The lion-tailed macaque is a creature which lives in the upper canopy of the Western Ghats. It only survives in the Western Ghats because it needs tropical weather. And since Western Ghats has been isolated for a very long, it has only survived in the Western Ghats. They are endemic species to the Western Ghats. They are also endangered as there are less than 4,000 lion-tailed macaques still in the Western Ghats. Since they're endemic, if we lose them in the Western Ghats, we lose them forever. But they're important because they play a very main role in seed dispersing, as they disperse seeds by throwing them away sometimes, by even droppings, or sometimes even, so that they disperse the seeds. They're also very important because they help us to get to know the statics of the Western Ghats, as they can only survive in a tropical rainforest land. And since they are dying, that means the forest is getting more and more dry, which means the Western Ghats is not like how it was before. It is also listed in the IUCN Red List as it is endangered. So now let's move on to our next animal. It is the Malabar spotted civet. So the Malabar spotted civet is a creature that lives in the undergrowth on the forest floor. It is a nocturnal creature, but it is an omnivore, meaning it feeds on both small creatures and also fruits, plants, etc. There is another civet cat species in the Southeast Asia parts, the Asian palm civet, and that is used to produce the most expensive coffee, Coffee Luwak. The Coffee Luwak beans are produced by sproutlings, but to give the droppings, which adds the beans, it has to eat a particular food called coffee cherries. But due to high demand, people are caging them in small cages of barbed wire, and they are force feeding it coffee cherries. Features like the Asian palm civet are turned into production units. We are hurting the Asian palm civet like that. But the Malabar spotted civet is a different species. It is not farmed for coffee, but it is getting high pressure as the Malabar spotted civet habitat is getting cut down for coffee plantation expansion. So this species is getting pressure and is getting endangered because its habitat is getting gone because of coffee plantation expansion, while the other is getting force-fed coffee cherries, which is hurting them. But now let's talk about few facts about the Malabar spotted civet. The Malabar spotted civet is a critically endangered species, as there are around 250 matured species in the Western Ghats. And since it is endemic, if we lose them, we will lose them forever. But the Malabar spotted civet is important because it regulates prey population, and it also keeps, and it also it is also important in seed disposal, meaning it eats seeds and then it again disposes it by sometimes throwing it away or even by its dropping. If the Malabar spotted civet goes extinct, then seed disposal patterns will change. So that is why the Malabar spotted civet is very important. Our next animal is the purple frog. We looked at life in the upper canopy. We looked at life in the undergrowth. But now going to be looking at life in the soil. This is the purple frog, the living fossil, because it diverged from its closest relatives around 100 million years ago, meaning it survived the dinosaurs and even the continental drift. The purple frog is like the king of the soil. In the soil, it eats all the small creatures it finds, helping it regulate prey populations. The purple frog is classified vulnerable, meaning it is not endangered, but its biggest threats are changes in the monsoon patterns. If the purple frog disappears, prey population would burst, meaning that in the soil there would be no creature to control the prey. It is a very rare species as it only lives in the soil for most of the time. You may never see it. It is also an endemic species to the Western Ghats. So this is how the purple frog. It also feeds on other insects like termites. Our next animal is the Nilgiri marten. The Nilgiri marten is the only marten species of India. It is an agile tree-dwelling creature. It feeds on small prey like lizards and even small snakes. It looks very similar to honey badgers, but they are not honey badgers. It is also very important as it regulates prey population. It is classified vulnerable though, so it is in good form. The Nilgiri marten are also excellent climbers, and they can get food from they can get small creatures or food supplies from the tree. The Nilgiri martens are endemic species to the Western Ghats, meaning you cannot find them anywhere else. So this is how the Nilgiri marten is. So we went through the Western Ghats. Scientists study ecosystems. Engineers design systems. Humans help doctors help. Doctors help humans health. But all of this depends on one system that humans never created, the web of life. In the web of life, no creature survives alone. No creature fails alone. If one creature cannot survive, that means the whole web breaks. And if one thing fails, everything fails together. The Western Ghats are still hurting its threats. But here is the real question. Are we? Because Protecting biodiversity is not just about protecting animals. It is about maintaining connectivity. It is about keeping corridors open. It is about reducing fragmentation. It is about respecting ecological boundaries before designing dams, fields, apartments, cities, etc. It is about it is about it is about uh, it is about caring about research before damage becomes irreversible. Stability in nature is invisible. We only notice it when it disappears. Loss of biodiversity does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens slowly. It is quiet, thread by thread, until the web can no longer hold. And when it fails, it doesn't fail in one place. It fails everywhere. In Sanskrit, we say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Meaning, the earth is one family. And that is true. Humans, animals, we all are one family. And ecology proves it. Because in the web of life, every thread matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really, we are all very proud of you, my dear child. Really proud parents. I apologize, I did not introduce the principal of the Edify School and Madam. So Dr. Paramesh sir has welcomed you. So really, we are, in fact, the state and country is very fortunate to have such a bright kid. I am sure God will bless you with good health, long life, and spread this environment awareness in the years ahead of your life. We have eminent scientists here like Professor J. Srinivasan sir and all who have strived their best, done a lot of research on environment and was instrumental, as I told, in starting this department, and has been mentoring has mentored several PhD students towards this one. I'm sure one day you will also shine well. There is no doubt in it. Keep going. God bless you. And please, without any shy or without any hesitation, please do pose some questions to him. Let us ignite still further his minds, or in fact, it should ignite our minds, not his mind. Please share your thoughts or ask some. Feel free to question. Any doubts you had in the slides? Wonderful talk. Wonderful.
Why cat species are there in Western Ghats?
Sir, as per my knowledge, I know about the civet cat. There is the Asian palm civet cat. There are two types of civet cats, as per my knowledge, and there are many other civet. There are many more civet cat species, and there are other cat species which I know, but they don't exist in the Western Ghats.
How about fishing cat?
Sir, I'm not so sure about the fishing cats.
Yeah, they are in Tamil Nadu. But how about Western Ghats? I'm curious whether anybody has cited. But they are they are nocturnal. You cannot see them. Somebody else go and do research to identify those. Rare.
Sir, as per my knowledge, yes, sir, fishing cats are there in Muslim.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Yes, madam. It's very nice to be here. We are very happy. Only one, it's not a question. My university I'm asking. See, you have learned many species about their life and history. Yes. So which one you found more interesting to use?
According to me, my favorite animal is the Asian elephant. But the one creature that I found very interesting was the Asian palm civet. I didn't know that it was used to produce the most expensive coffee Novak. After my mother told me, I got understood. It was still an unbelievable fact.
Anyone?
Yes.
So I believe you showed something, if purple frog, you said that it survived the dinosaurs extinction. You guess that how it survived?
No, sir, because actually it's very extraordinary, sir, because even dinosaurs couldn't survive, like the asteroid and all. But still, the purple frog is very small creature. It lives in the soil, survives in it. I'm not so sure because, even if it was in the soil, there would be soil erosion which would disrupt the soils. So I'm not sure. But I guess it did survive somehow, sir. By
You showed many things which are mammal, showed something, frogs are not mammal, but they are.
certain amphibians.
So who came first, reptile or amphibians?
Sir, amphibians.
You sure?
Yes, sir. Because amphibians really.
Yeah, I have seen. He told that I should generate some curiosity on you. I am doing that. Good.
Yes, sir.
Internet, any questions?
Anyone? Please feel free to ask Shivaga ಅವರೇ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ question ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. Really wonderful, sir.
Internet, any question?
Yeah.
Net ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ question?
ಅದ್ಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್,
ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, so. Sure. ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
Indeed, we thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you very much for all of you coming over. And you have a bright future. We can learn a lot of things together. And his interesting question, so that he can influence you, learn more. He's a famous scientist. Yes, what he asked the last question. And let's work together for sustainable life. So, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we always say that 3,000 years history. We got one planet, we're all one family, we're all one future. I think that the ending was one of the finest thing. I always ended that one because I ended with the trees only this time. But one thing I want to ask question, the Kalinga Sarpa, very well known Western Ghats, Agumbe in the area, that what do you think it is significantly coming down or not?
Sir, the vision guards, is it coming down, sir?
Huh.
Sir, it is because lion-tailed macaques population is coming down, sir.
Okay.
And since they can only survive in tropical weather, that means the forest is becoming more dry. And it is not like how it was before. It's not as green as it was before. It's mostly because of human economic activities.
Yes, yes. I think that's what we try to say. Don't go for, that is what we call smart cities. Sustainable cities, ecosystem become smarter. I think that's what I like to end in that one. Sir, he is another Forest Department Chief of Karnataka is here. Professor Raj Singh is the future at the chairman of this area. And we can learn a lot of things from the forest. Anywhere you want to go, ask him, he will let you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Sir is a retired IFS officer.
I see, yes.
Chief Conservator.
Yes. We are happy to
He's
hear listening to you and all these things. We are so happy. And on behalf of Divecha Center Climate Change, we have a great pleasure giving a small token of appreciation for you through our founder chairman, Professor J. Srinivas.
Which species has got to first disappear due to climate change? You have to find out. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Good.
You can talk to people in ecological science.
Yes, department is here. I think we have a picture. All of them. Please come here. Never got picture.
Nice.
Sir.